Hello, welcome to another 15 plus 10 video. Guess we'll get some kind of King's Indian or reverse Grunfeld. I usually just develop in this QGD-esque way. If I play knight c6, it goes into the reverse Grunfeld, which I prefer to avoid. If white plays d3, then I'll go knight c6, as then d4 is a waste of a tempo. It technically goes into a Grunfeld, but with without the tempo lost. Well, white loses a tempo, but I'll show it after the game. Okay, so we are in a reverse Benoni. Now I play knight c6, takes d3, h6. I try to avoid this bishop coming out to g5 because it's quite an annoying pin. And when white trades off this bishop, things are like slightly more comfortable with white, as they have a bit less space. You could say that this is maybe 1.5 tempi down on a regular Benoni, but I still think it's quite, well, the most ambitious way you can play. I could try knight d7, but still bishop g5. So I think h6. Now, I think the most worrying kinds of plans to me are the ones where white pushes for c4 eventually, c5 eventually, and gets the knight over to c4. It can become really annoying when it comes to that. Okay, I'm not entirely sure where I want to put my bishop. If I go to c5, it gets knocked around by the knight coming here. d6 doesn't feel like it has much purpose. Also blocking this. e7 seems just a conservative approach. Don't see anything wrong with it. I really just want to get castled next. I could go for bishop b4, which is slightly interesting, but then like here, then a3 is coming with tempo. I could just start with a5 maybe. But it's a bit awkward, just weakening a few squares. I think bishop d6 does make sense because f4 is probably where white wants to put their bishop. So I'll go with there for now. And then if white tries to attack the pawn, I can always just drop the bishop back to c7. Yeah, a handy point compared to a regular Benoni is that I would usually have the pawn on e5, and then there would be some pressure on it. But here, there's no funny ideas of c5 will be 4 because I just take it, and e6 is perfectly well defended. Okay, then I suppose I just castle next. I might try to go for maybe a3, a5, b3, bishop b2. I think my ultimate long-term kind of moves will be to push e5, get this knight over to here, and just go hammer in the center. But the white should have plenty of time to, well, think of something for that. Okay, I suppose the knight might come to e4, which is fine. Okay. Oh yeah, if I manage to trade off the knights, I can get started with f5 and e5 all the faster. So I don't think I'll be unhappy with that. Maybe I should play d4 with white more. This seems relatively pleasant. As I said, e5 is pretty much automatic just to stop b4. This does give away a couple squares though. Okay. So, well, it does go for the a3, b3, bishop b2 that I suggested. But what am I going to do about it? Okay. Well, I might push e5. It seems really difficult for white to accumulate any oppression on that pawn. If I just go e5, you can only get 2 attackers on, and then I don't think you can get a third. Okay, the concern is if white goes for c5, distracting my bishop, then that falls. And I would rather that not happen. I don't want to go knight d7 yet, because then knight e4 is quite pleasant for white, I think. Or at least it seems I've just gone backwards for no real reason. Well, the more problematic part is, even though I would like to get it out with f5, there's maybe some problems with the pawn coming to c5 and then jumping into d6. I could go for rook e8. It doesn't seem unreasonable, but it doesn't feel quite correct. Maybe queen e7 or queen c7, but then that takes an eye off of d4, which is Well, it's fine to take a knight off d4 if I follow up with e5 next, right? So queen 7, and I think, or queen c7, I think, and if I get this pawn here, I don't want to be in a pin. So queen here, bishop here, I suppose, and then e5. Yeah, and this bishop can come out naturally to here. Everything seems relatively harmonious. I suppose if... no. I was thinking white could maybe do something like taking this knight to move defender here, but first the knight has to move, and second of all, you don't want to get rid of your knight squared bishop here. Maybe knight e4 is worth considering for white a bit more. Knight e4 I take... you probably take back with the rook, and then still e5. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, here I go e5. The white would want to try and get into these two squares, but there's no access to this square from here, 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 here. So that's good. Maybe white will go for rook c1, trying to push c5. That seems like a normal kind of plan. Then you don't want to go for rook e8, bishop f8, or just bishop f5. Let's see, rook c1, bishop f5. I suppose c5. Have to move the bishop. Still defended. Knight c4, slightly annoying. That seems kind of ideal for white, annoyingly enough. I could go for b6 after rook c1, but that seems a bit loose along this diagonal. Yeah. Not so convincing. I could go for knight d7. Knight e4, bishop e7. I think it makes more sense in that circumstance than before. Rook c1, knight d7. So I cover the square again. It becomes kind of hard for white to play, I think. Knight d7, knight e4, bishop e7. And I think any incursions white tries to make are temporary because I've got f5. And then where does the knight go? And I can pick up the c5 pawn. Yeah. If white doesn't do anything interesting, I guess I just have to go bishop f5. Well, I don't have to, but it seems like a very sensible place to put it. Or here as well. I think both are fine. Perhaps I want it on g4, coming back to g6 instead, just because I want the f5. What else might white do? Okay. Knight e4 immediately, I just trade. Suppose knight h4. Okay, so my prepared move was knight d7. Still seems rather sensible to me. I very much over-defend this point, but such ideas are, I think, not easy to meet. Even this knight coming into here to c5. I wasn't sure really how else to deal with this. I mean, I can go rook e8, but like this knight coming into c4 is kind of annoying. Gives white a bit of breathing room, I guess, which I don't give them. I might be missing some counterplay other place, but this is looking good to me. So I am defending this point now 4 times, which is a lot of times. And I think next I'm to push f5 and then maybe just bring this knight here. Then maybe just bishop d7 and bring this rook over here. That's a lot of moves, but it would be nice to accomplish. Then I can go about trying to maybe push e4. Yeah, I suppose Shankland's rule for Benoni's is holding here. It seems really unpleasant for white, even though, yeah, we had the first move. Just because we've just traded no pieces. Only a pair of pawns. Yeah, I was wondering about that slightly, but what's the idea here? Okay, I suppose if I go f5, knight g6 is slightly irritating, but hardly a real concern. Yeah, f5, knight here, rook here. Let's go back. I suppose... Well, you can't even push f4 because I just take it, I think. Yeah. So... I feel like just f5 works out. Let's see. f5... Maybe if the queen comes in, queen h5, but then knight f6, queen g6, it's a bit scary. Knight e7, like... Intuitively at least, I don't think white can maintain such excursions if they don't have any of the pawn control. f5, queen f3, still knight f6. No. f5, queen f3, knight c5. Because I need to defend the square. And I'm attacking here, well, perhaps not. But the queen is not doing much on the square, so I think I will still go ahead with f5. I do have to watch out for this bishop check. Which pawns I didn't think about properly. It's, yeah. I should think about this before I push f5, but I don't think it's significant. It is 3 pieces, which is, I guess, more than my defenders. Maybe I want to get this bishop to e6 just to cover this. Here we go, knight e7 earlier. Earlier knight e7 is covering a lot of squares for me. Like, a nice part about f5 is that, well, as well as preparing e4 in like the far future, like it's denied to all of these 3 white pieces. Downside, of course. All of the weakened squares. Okay. Here, well, if I go here, I immediately drop an exchange. So, no sense wasn't going king here, letting this queen come in here. And then I think even knight f6 is okay. Just because check, king back, knight takes. No. So I suppose I put the knight on e7 instead. I suppose white can go for knight takes, rook takes, bishop here, but that's giving up 2 pieces for the rook. So I should be okay with that. I think I maintain the formidable pawns in the center as well, though, so everything should be good. Yeah, I probably want to get this knight in here and just protecting all my pieces. I guess that was slightly a bit of consideration when white stops all of their pushing. I suppose white might have some ideas with c5 now with the alignment of the queen. It's pushing b4 afterwards. And then b5. It seems a bit too artificial at this point. Need to work with a few adjustments though. Okay, that was the expected move. I think now knight e7 is the move I wanted to play. Yeah, I'm not sure what. I go knight f6, queen d6 check. I mean, here things are a bit tricky, and then knight takes f5. Okay, let's just check. Knight f6. If white goes back, I think that's nothing to worry about. So queen g6 check, king here. Then I'm going to go knight e7 next, unless they go knight takes f5, at which point I want bishop takes f5, queen takes f5, knight takes d5, but then that comes with c takes d5, which is going to win back a piece. My time is unfortunately low, because if I had another 10 minutes I would definitely try to calculate it all out. But like knight e7 was my initial thought, and I couldn't find anything for white. I just didn't think there was another move for white to make after this. I suppose maybe knight f3, trying to go for knight d5, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, my knight's squared weaknesses are starting to become kind of annoying. So let's say knight f3, knight f6, knight d5, check, knight here. Like, the problem is you can't keep the pin here because I don't want to take away things. But if you don't, I'm slowly kicking back all of white's pieces, I think. I was even wondering about maybe g4, trying to break down this to give the e4 square, but I can go knight f6. After I've gone knight f6 and white queen is retreated, suppose, then c5 is a threat because what's trapped, so it has to take, and then it's the pin. So I might go queen b8, or just take on d5. Taking on d5 seems easier. My opponent is letting the time go down quite low. Okay, my opponent sacrifices a 4-piece for some reason. Okay, so if I take it, then perhaps the exchange sacrifice on e7. My question is, what if I go knight f6 first before that? And then this is defended twice then. And, well, a3 is threatened. You don't have a good intermezzo that I see. I can just do that. Like, I have remarkably few loose pieces. Yeah, I still like knight f6. And then just taking this and taking this. Like, it's with tempo on the queen, it's really hard for me to come up with any kind of intermezzi that white could do. Like, this seems like exactly just the next move I want to play. I don't want to be distracted by any fancy piece sacrifices. Okay. And if I take on a3, then rook a1, tempo. So if I take this, then this has a chance to escape perhaps. Not taking here, because it's attacked 100,000 times. Okay, 3 times, which is the same number. Okay, take. Maybe bishop e6. Okay. This does, however, give up this bishop right here. So there's no concern, I think. Okay, so if I take this, rook takes, queen takes, queen takes, queen takes, rook takes, knight takes. I'm up a lot of material on that line. The question is, do I want to save this bishop or just win a pawn? I think I like the pawn. And I come to c4 is irritating, but I suppose my opponent has to have some compensation for the piece. Okay, I should speed up. Bishop takes, save the bishop. I save mine. I'm good. Well, I feel like I really want to get rid of this one. Okay, I'll get rid of this. I think takes, I just take back. Knight c4, probably. Yeah. Oh, almost guaranteed. Yep. I probably want to just put this knight here next and this knight here. I'm perfectly fine with a queen trade. I feel like the most natural place to put this is just right back here. 27 maybe, but it's a bit tenuous. Just... okay, let's not spend too much time. If I go for b5, no. Knight comes forwards. It's a bit shaky for them, I think. Rook comes up. Let's hold on this. Okay, I should speed up. Speed up. Bishop d7. Just give up the pawn. I don't like giving up that pawn. Knight here. If they take twice here, fine, this is the more important pawn. We go f4. Okay. Well, how did I spend that much time? We should have some buffer. Okay. This does give up this pawn, but then it comes back in an annoying way, I think. That's quite annoying. Just take. e6, does that win a piece? e6, defend. No. Okay, I suppose just trade. Yeah, that's more problematic. To find squares. Okay, I want to bring this rook up to here. That hangs a fork. It's very scary. Five. Shh. Yeah, I just keep getting pressured. Shoot. Fuck. Just couldn't stop the mate. I think I can do this. No, queen A. It's really annoying. It's really annoying. Sure, I was doing well there, and then just in a panic. Like I have to recognize White is trying to put the rook onto e7. So I just go knight d5 here, and then what does White do? Awful. So I'm going after this knight, which is completely irrelevant. Although it's really hanging in the position there, really annoying. Yeah. It's like here's probably we're doing all fine. Yeah, like everything was going to plan, I think. Maybe like here made sense. Then I didn't want this because then if the knight came here and I traded, it's like I wasted 2 tempi getting the knight here before I trade. But maybe it was still even worth it then. I mean, if pawn takes, I'm fine. Still this really annoying pawn. Bishop f5. Yeah, that's probably also okay. Maybe I should start with king h8 or knight e7. Stop the entire try of this coming here. Problem is, if I do that, then this knight comes to d4. So yeah, I just want to stop this, really. And maybe I concentrated too much on that, but I still think my position has to be good here. Like, so supposing maybe this happened. I mean, takes, knight takes, knight f6, queen check, knight takes here with mate threats, I suppose, but then bishop f6. Well, this. I don't have to take though. Like, maybe that's the point. I could have tried for this. Okay, so if they save the bishop, save my bishop. It could seem like a menace, but it's also nowhere near my king, so bishop d4. But then it's a bit slow. No, I think that's good here. Maybe we should have done that, but I think this can't have been bad. Yeah, if I had more time I would have thought more about where to put this queen, but alas. Maybe queen b8, just if I keep it on the e5 square. It's really funny. Actually, that's a funny place to put it, but yeah, then I'm not quite sure how White tries to infiltrate. Queen f3, e5, and you can't come into knight d6 or here. So maybe queen b8 was a better retreat, actually, than d8. As here, yeah, White got their knight here, and then started taking my pawns. So I think queen b8 would be a significant improvement. Here, yeah, I don't think there's really a better square than here. It's nice just to stop this rook. Really annoying because it controls all the squares I want to put my rooks on. If I went rook a6, yeah, maybe I should have just gone for this. Okay. I'm still up a piece. Maybe I should have gone for this. It's a lot easier to say things when you have a lot of time. But yeah, the knights are being superfluous, I guess. One knight, no, knight b5 drops the knight, but still, like, bishop here. It's really annoying. Turn those off if I have the engine and lances off. Yeah. And yeah, here I just really should stop white invading and everything should be okay. I was going to meet rook here with rook here. Or I suppose I could just take it. Knight takes queen. Very safe. Unfortunate. Yeah, after the rook's here, I think it's just lost, right? Knight e2 check? That's the engine suggestion. Okay, what's the point? Check here and then bring the queen back to here? That's... okay, that's not something I would have come up with at all. But it's a really nice defense, I guess. Yeah. And this is just all totally lost. What do you mean rook d7? It's... you're saying it's not fourth mate? It is soon. Well, yeah, this looks something you would try to survive in bits. Would h5? How does that stop anything? Queen check? Not sure what that's about. Queen check. What? Okay, I'll have a look at the engine. Oh my gosh. So sad to see. Okay, this opening is just normal. Nothing too interesting here. The engine does prefer knight c5. Says this is something to worry about. Why? Okay, so if I go knight f6, what's the concern? Knight f6, queen comes in, knight 7. I didn't see it. Or maybe it's queen h5 first, and then if I go knight f6, then bishop e4 check. And this would be a better ruler. Like, I can't take this because I lose a piece. If I go here, I lose the exchange. If I go here, then they get queen g6 check in. To go back here, and then they take. And yeah, it's hard to find the compensation here. Okay, and if I tried knight e7 instead, maybe still bishop d5 check. No, I can just take that, right? Take. So I'm fine. So what's the problem? It's probably, yeah, c5, and then the problem of taking one and then b4. Let's just check. So if I went knight e7, c5, yeah. And if I went knight f6, bishop d5 check, I have to go king h7, queen g6, check king h8. So I was thinking knight takes. Oh wait, yeah, I calculated this in the game, but yeah, that was bad for white. But if they take here first, push c5. Well, this isn't so clear, but yeah, white invading with the knights, and if we take with the queen, still c5, f4. I mean, this isn't clear to me in any way. But my king's not safe. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I suppose starting with knight c5, good. Yeah, king h7 before all of this would have avoided that. So knight 7, knight 4, bishop e6 even, because it doesn't... Yeah, I like my bishops too much. It's a failing of mine. I was going to just trade and push f5. Still again, bishop d5 check is a problem. Oh yeah, I can't go here because it's not legal. Still, okay, p8 up the fork, for one thing. b6. Yeah. Okay, ideas. Okay, so yeah, this was totally winning, and knight f6 was the best move. What was the put? Okay, so I suppose this was losing. Well, that's an interesting sacrifice. Queen d6 check. King here, because this is falling, and this... If I try to be really greedy, I'd lose the back rank. Yeah. It's just me. Yeah, well, maybe this is abandoning the king is not a good idea. Okay, so he's up a piece here. Bishop takes g3. Yeah, that makes much more sense, because if I leave this... If I force this pawn to stay here as an umbrella pawn, it's just really nice. Okay, but even if you go here, I take with this knight. This is nothing. Yeah, that's a very nice desperado. Still, queen b8 is the move I liked. Engine doesn't give any difference, but I felt like things were getting unpleasant for me here. Doesn't have any complaints, although I might. Rook a6. There was a reason I didn't play rook a6 in the game. I think it was knight takes b7. I didn't know what was happening here. Problem is I can only see 2 moves into the future. Rook takes now? Why? Oh, for the fork. Yeah, very blind to tactics I am. Well, at the end in a time scalper at least. Yeah, I'm trying too hard to be cute, I guess. Yeah, there's no reason for me to go queen c7 instead of queen d7, actually. Not sure why I did that. Makes very little sense. Yeah, and then I go rook here, and then rook g5. Oh my god, rook g5. Awful. I had that as well. Just had to not, like, hang mate. Like the single mating attack they were trying to do. Oh, that's mating 1. Okay. Knight h5. Oh no. Yeah, here's just totally lost. I thought here I could play knight takes because this was defended and this was defended, but I missed the third move, which is just taking on h6, and I can't stop me. Well, see. Yeah, I wouldn't. This is definitely not an opening problem. It's more time management. Why did I spend a whole minute on this? Getting a bit lost, just thinking. Like, yeah, getting down to less than a minute isn't good, because then you miss really obvious things. At the critical moment. The F4 was some idea which I mentioned, but shouldn't have it. Let's not get to d6, I think. I didn't go queen c7 just for vague discovery reasons. I don't see why I'm letting... Oh, I can just go knight here. But... yeah, here. Oh, because the discovery. That's just annoying. Is there any reason I didn't go rookie here? Just trade. Trade. If I trade all the pieces, I don't get checkmated. Awful. There's no fair. Yeah. Move k6 here. More sense as well. Like maybe I shouldn't have even tried to hang on to this pawn. Bishop d7, queen takes d4, bishop c6. It's annoying to let this drop, but c8, yeah. Once I'm up with piece, I don't really have to keep clinging on to the pawns. Again, this was a really nice move, I think. Would have made the conversion good. Okay, thank you all for watching. Hopefully my next video will be an openings video on the way, but if not, I still hope to see you there.